Okay, do you see anything happening? Oh no. Do you? Is there anything you can click again? It doesn't say like, let me see if I can add people from here. Maybe if I go to the, oh, that was already there. Let me see. Oh, hey. Oh, you don't really see me talking? Awesome. Cool. So I'm hoping you can be on here too. Because for me, it's recording and everyone's probably like, what? Oh, I think I can edit it back. So. I wonder if other people are having trouble with it too. Then. Yeah, I still won't see you on here. Oh, it says one viewer. Is that you? Oh, okay. Well, I don't see. No, because it has been 0. So. Okay. Okay, because I want to test out the chat box and I guess the question box, or maybe just the question box. If you can type a question. What? No. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I think you are the one viewer, which is good because I was like, I hope no one else is watching me just talk on the phone right now. Okay, so see if you can go to the, do you see the question box, the Q&A? Okay, so, ooh. Yeah. It's like a, for me, it's like a turquoise box. Oh no, is it gonna start there for everyone? This is so confusing. Wonder if I can clear that. Dang. Yeah, that's what I thought. It says it's live. Oh. Yeah, so exciting. Uh-oh, 2 viewers. Welcome. Okay. So, are you trying to test the question box? Can you even see the question box? Can you What does your screen look like? Yes.
It has you saying, oh no, this is going to be forever.
Oh boy. Can you hover to the side so that you can see me? Okay. 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 Well, anyway, I think I told everyone that this was going to be super informal, so it definitely is. So if you can figure out how to type in a question in the Q&A, that would be awesome. And that way I'll know that you guys can do that. Or use the chat box, either one. All right, well, I'll type to list all the commands. Okay, let me see if my chat box is working. See if you can see this. Okay, so you may need to scroll to the end to catch up live. But they will get to that if they stay on. But they might be like, this is lame. So, oops. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they left. So it keeps going in and out. I can't really tell. Okay, can you see where I posted something in the chat box, the group chat? This is... What does your screen look like? Just nothing but a video?
It's like, yeah, most of it is black, and it's got your YouTube, whatever, and then it says vote for your favorite multiple. And on the right, it says showcase, empty Starbucks, and then thanks for Google Plus, and then anything else. I mean, at the top, it has.
See, mine goes away if I'm not hovering over it with my mouse over the video part, but I don't know if yours does that. The video screen. And there are 3 people. So I'm just going to welcome you guys. I'll go ahead and start the presentation part, and while you guys do that, I would like go ahead. Okay, maybe I can just try my settings and see if I can start that over. Nope. Okay, so I will go ahead and just start the presentation, and then if anyone can figure out how to ask questions, you can do that. If not, I might just have you guys send questions to my email or Facebook. So if you want to just go ahead and do that, it's mcstarbuck@gmail.com. And I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so Christy, I'm going to hang up with you and I will call you back, or you can call me if you're confused. But I wish we're supposed to be able to talk over this, but maybe I did it wrong. Let me see if, well, I invited you through this, so I don't know. All right, but I will go ahead and do this. Okay, thanks. Okay, so if you can figure out how to let me know if you can hear me and see this, that would be awesome. Thank you for sticking around through this craziness. and letting me practice on you guys for this. So I want to share some of my story. I am an English major, so it's been difficult for me to get rid of books, and I've accumulated a lot. Even my textbooks from college, a lot of them were like stories, and so I wanted to keep them. But I was able to get rid of over 80 books within a month, and I got $97 in store credit at bookstores, so I'm probably getting ahead of myself. But anyway, it just helps you to have more space for reading more, and you're reading more of what you actually want to read. And I really hope that that's what this will help you guys with also. So what made it easier for me was to start with the easiest books, like textbooks. And I had a lot that were kind of repeats, or like some of them I had notes in and I didn't want to get rid of them, but other ones weren't that important to me and I never looked at them. And another thing that was easy to get rid of was the books that contained information that can easily be found online, like you know, ways to go on a date really cheap or whatever, like different just ideas like that. And you can find them on blog posts or websites or whatever, and it's more up-to-date information probably anyway. So I got rid of some of those types of books. And then I realized as I was going through my books that I had a lot of them that I used to be interested in, but I really wasn't anymore. And when you think about how many books there are, okay, so in case you are like my sister, she just texted me and said that she had to click play instead of live to hear me live now, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but so if that's you, you can catch up by clicking play. And, or maybe she's saying, oh, she's she's saying she clicked play instead of live. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to edit this and take out the beginning part where it's just me talking on the phone. But anyway, I am glad that you are here and listening. And some of the things that I was no longer interested in, some of them were from my grandparents when they passed away. And so that was still a little bit difficult, but I had so many from them that I just decided, you know, I can get rid of the ones they wouldn't even want me to keep them that I'm not interested in. And I would just I would just keep the ones that I'm excited about at this time. And if I want to buy the other ones again later, then I can do that. And so a lot of books, I realized I would look at them and I would just be like, oh, I need to read that. But it was like an obligation rather than me being excited about it. And so I finally got over keeping all of those, and I am, I don't know, it's just a lot better, like I said, reading more of the ones that I actually want to. And some books maybe you have more than one copy of, and so those are much easier to get rid of at times. And a few things that you can remember that will help you make it easier to get rid of is, like I said, used bookstores will give you money back or store credit. So when you're getting rid of a book that you don't really care that much about, that makes you able to buy another book that you really want right now. And it also gives someone else the opportunity to read that book. So maybe you did read it and you really liked it, but you don't want to keep it. And you're giving someone else that opportunity and they might be excited about it instead of just letting those books sit there and collect dust. So let's see. Okay, it seems like you guys are saying that you can't see the slideshow presentation, I guess. Let me make sure. Okay. Right, so I will be back on the video in just a little while, but hopefully you can see, can you see my screen that it says remember right now? If you could just text me or Facebook message me that, or is your screen just blank? Let me know that. And so you can buy it, like I said, buy some of those books again later if you decide that you want them, but I've become much pickier about which books I actually read. And so I like to focus on my very favorites that I'm keeping. And I have some like Little House on the Prairie from when I was little that I've read and may or may not read again in the future. I'm going to try and fix this so that you guys can see my screen. And I thought that you guys would be able to see it. Can you see it now? And okay, well then I'll just go back to the video and let me see if you guys can see me when I do that. Okay. Okay, you see me now? And have you guys been able to figure out how to use the question? Awesome. Have you been able to figure out how to use the question and answer box? Or, oh, wait. Okay, so click the square of squares in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, so my screen looks different than yours. So apparently there is a square of squares in the upper right-hand corner where you can click the Q&A. And you guys are great. And so you can type in a question that you have for me. And I'm sorry that that presentation didn't work for you guys, but you heard the stuff that I was going to talk about anyway. So if you have questions about books or about clothes or what we've done, I really wanted to have you guys on here. Let me see if I can get anyone else on screen. I'm not seeing anyone else showing up. So maybe I didn't put you in the right place. But if you will type your questions, then I'll be able to see them. And I keep getting messages because people can't communicate to me through the Google Hangout, sadly. So next time I do this, hopefully it will be better. Okay. So, okay. Beside the help question mark. I don't know what my sister's trying to tell me. But, okay, so she did say that she saw my screen for a minute. I guess when I put it in presentation mode, it didn't work anymore. So I can show you guys again. the screen while you guys type in your questions if you can find that. But this is all that the presentation had on it, just about reading less, or about having fewer books and reading more. Excuse me. Okay, so focus on your favorites that you're keeping instead of on the negative stuff. Instead of the negative way of looking at it where you're just getting rid of stuff. So, and focusing on my favorites, it just keeps me excited. And then like anytime I'm looking at my bookshelves, it's books that I really enjoy and I'm excited to read, which is helpful. And let's see. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, you can let me know now. And awesome. Okay, so we have someone else. Also, since I can't pull you guys up on video, sadly, if you can type into the question box where you're from and who your favorite author is, that would be helpful. And if you didn't find the question box, then my sister says it's in the top right corner. There's like a square of squares, and you can, if yours looks like mine, it'll have a little like Q&A symbol on there. And thank you for letting me know that you're here. I'm excited to have you guys. It's really a bummer though that I feel like I'm on here by myself, even though you guys are here. So I see a few things. Okay, let's see. Okay, so books are the first week. This is a question from Christy. Then computer and phone accessories, then movies and games, including games and video game, like board games, video games. And she asks about toys. Now, I have a completely different section for toys later on, which I need to send you guys within the next week or two, I guess. But yes, for this month, I would say start with books. But really, it doesn't matter that much. Like, this is just to give you a plan in case you don't have one. But if you're like, no, starting with video games would be better for whatever reason, maybe it's easier, or you know, you're gonna go take them to GameStop or something. But let's see. So you can start with the books, and part of what I did is I just took a section of a shelf down at a time and looked through each book. And I'm really like, I'm not really strict about stuff, as you can see. Like, the order doesn't really matter to me that much. I didn't have video games personally, so that wasn't a problem for me. And I didn't even have that many DVDs of my own. So so I basically, mine was just books, but it was a lot of books. And I would take a section at a time and go through them. And kind of talked about what helped me already. But let's see if you guys have any more questions. And I'm still not seeing any of you posting where you're from and your favorite author, which mine is Jane Austen, so one of my favorite authors. Okay, so here's one. Gilbert said that my favorite authors give me insight into living a healthy and productive life. So the authors kind of vary based on that subject matter. Very cool, thank you. And let's see. Make sure I'm marking these as answered. Okay, so I'm going to click select. Does that mean that it's showing, does it show you the question now that I've clicked select? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like asking you for lots of help. But, okay, so we have Alabama. That's where Christy's from. And she cannot even think of who her favorite author is, which I know that's a hard question. And Gilbert is from Massachusetts. So that's very cool. So fun. I'm from Georgia, in case you guys didn't know. And I'm about to go to South Carolina to the beach. I'm excited. And okay. Well, thank you guys. And do you have any more questions? It could be about clothes too. I don't know if, I guess most of you guys have done your clothes already. Okay. And hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so Karen is from Austin, Texas, and she's thinking about who her favorite author is. She said it's been so long since she's had time to read anything other than Facebook. So that is understandable, but hopefully, yeah, getting rid of stuff will help make some more time for reading and allow for some different priorities. I don't know if Karen has kids and that's why she's saying that, or what ages her children are, but that's really cool. And let's see. Let me see if maybe, okay. Maybe I was messed up with this. Let's see if I can get any of you on video yet. Yeah, see to my okay. Man, I don't know how to get you on video. So annoying. Okay, does anyone else have a question? Okay, so Karen said she has a 5-year-old son and triplets about to turn 4. Wow, thank you for taking the time to join us today. That is awesome. Wow. Very cool. Okay. All right, well, you might have to wait a couple years before you have time to read, but maybe you'll just be decluttering their books for now. And let me make sure I got everyone. And I guess if you don't have any more questions, I'll let you guys go, but thank you for participating, and I love having you guys in the group, and I love all your comments and encouragement, even though you may not feel like you're encouraging me. It's really cool to see the progress that you guys are making, and I want to congratulate you. I don't know if you are like me, and I wasn't sure how much I would get done in a month, but you guys have done amazing, and I hope you can look back and realize that you have gotten rid of more than you expected to or planned to. And I will see you guys back in the Facebook group, and I can't wait for us all to be clutter-free by Thanksgiving. So if you have anything left to say, you can post it somewhere else. Let me see. Someone else said, I missed the beginning. Can you put those slides back up for a minute? Yes. And you guys can post more questions while I'm doing that if you have anything that you want to know. Let me share the slides. And okay. All right, so I'm guessing this is not the slide that you really care to see. Okay, so I'll just go through the presentation again, and you guys can ask questions while I go if you want, and stop me as you need to. And, you know, feel free to leave if you're like, okay, she's being repetitive and boring. But like I said, it's going to be really informal, and I want to do this to help you guys the most. So if you want to stay to go back through this, then that is awesome. So I chose to talk about having fewer books which will lead to more reading, because when you have a lot of books, sometimes it's just overwhelming and you're like, okay, I don't know what to read. I'm just going to go get on Facebook. And so, but having books that you're really excited about makes you more likely to read them. And if you don't have, like, I mean, I still read like 5 books at a time, but just choose which one out of those 5 I feel like reading at the moment, because sometimes I'm in the mood for fiction, and sometimes for nonfiction that's reads like fiction, or some that are nonfiction about a specific topic that I'm trying to learn about on that day. So I'm not opposed to having, you know, multiple books going at the same time. I'm just saying that like I got rid of 80 books, and I haven't regretted a single one. And part of that is realizing that I can buy another one at some point. So my advice for choosing books, start with a single line of shelves, and just take them all off and look at each one and decide, you know, does it bring you that joy that we talked about with from the life-changing magic of tidying up. And just like with clothes, when you're surrounded by books that you enjoy and that bring you joy, then that joy can be spread to the rest of your family when you see those books. So for me, it's important that, like, I really like the covers of books to be nice, or I like old books, like those bring joy to me. So even if just looking at them brings joy, then, you know, it's serving its purpose. And a lot of them may have already served their purpose for you. And so, like with textbooks, they were expensive, and some of them I had notes in, but I just realized that, you know, I would rather have the space than the textbooks. Now, I do still have some of them that are anthologies of like British lit, and I still enjoy like picking those up sometimes. And now it's more likely, now that I have fewer books, it's more likely that I'll pick those up every once in a while and flip through them. And even though I have more than one copy of some books, and I do suggest not having more than one, but some of them I have because they're different editions, or it's like one of them's really old and I don't want it to get messed up, so I only read it a few times or whatever. And if I want to read the whole book at a time, then I'll go with a newer version, and that kind of thing. So I'm really not opposed to having more than one copy in every instance, but let's see. Then for books that have information that can easily be found online, like ideas for saving money, like there are so many good blog posts about that with more up-to-date information that I was like, why do I even have this? because I thought for a while, like, I don't like reading on a phone or a computer, but for stuff like that where it's like, okay, maybe I have a specific question, or even like dictionaries or encyclopedias, um, it really doesn't bother me to look that up online, and it's really short. And so even though I'm saying like, oh, let's get rid of books, um, I actually don't have a Kindle, and I rarely, like, I think I've read one ebook in its entirety, maybe more, I'm not sure, and it was fairly short. So I do understand if you are a book person, you like the physical book. That is me as well. But I still had books that I was no longer interested in, and I just, because I hadn't gone through my books with the mindset of, hey, I could get rid of this and save space, I just kept it by default. And so when you're going through your books, you'll probably find some that you're like, oh, I used to be interested in that, but I'm not anymore, or I already have the information I need from that. So it's really helpful to be able to get rid of those books. Or maybe you have a resource that's on that same topic that's better than the one that you previously had. So you can easily get rid of those. And then I also mentioned feeling obligated rather than excited about the books, and that goes along with asking yourself the question about if it sparks joy. But sometimes we'll feel obligated to read a book because everybody says it's good, or because it's a classic and you feel like everyone's read it and you should, or because it's a bestseller and maybe someone recommended it to you, but you're really not interested in it. And so when you look at those types of books, you're just like, I really should read that, but I don't want to for some reason. So just think about that as you go through your books, and try to just keep those that you're really excited about for now. And then maybe you can go back and buy the other ones later if you hear about it again and you're at a different season of your life and it's going to be more helpful and exciting to you at that time. So a few more things that you can keep in mind are that used bookstores will give you money or in-store credit, so you can trade your books in. I used 2 different bookstores, and it's really simple. Unlike, well, for me, like, selling stuff on eBay just doesn't sound appealing to me. And, shipping stuff out. But if I can just take, 2 big boxes at a time to this bookstore, have it over with, have my store credit, it just takes like an hour, and I get to browse the bookstore, or less than an hour, and while I'm waiting, and then I get, I can leave with a book that I really do like in exchange for those. And so I think at one store I got like 60 something dollars of store credit, and then at the other it was like 37. And I just really like that system. I haven't even used all of it, but I think I got one book using my store credit. And so, that just helps you. One, it helps me to buy fewer books now that I know. I'm like, wow, I have a lot of books that I really like and want to read. And so I'm using my store credit until I find, I'm saving it until I find the books that I keep adding to my list that I want. But anyway, also thinking of that when you're getting rid of your books, you are allowing it to have a new owner that is going to read it and be excited about it. So for those of you who love books and are attached to them, that worked for me. Thinking about, I'm just letting this amazing book sit here and no one's reading it. So hopefully that will help you. And then I think I already mentioned that you can buy it again later. And a lot of people approach it as like, oh my goodness, I can never get rid of my books. And honestly, that's how I did too. But getting rid of those helps you focus on the ones that you're keeping. And, you know, in some ways, maybe you'll want to do that too. Like if you take the books off the shelf and just choose out the ones that are your favorites and put those back and then donate the rest, rather than looking at your pile of books and taking out the ones that you're getting rid of. Because just focusing on the excitement of the ones that you really like can be helpful. And you really just, it seems like such a small thing, but that little shift in your perspective can really make it a lot better. And a lot better experience, a more positive experience, because you're like, oh, I have this book that I really love, and it'll just remind you of the ones that you love and help you notice them more instead of them getting lost in the piles and piles of books. And so then my last slide was just about questions, and you guys have asked some. Do you have any more questions for me now that I've gone through that? And any questions about maybe my experience with getting rid of books, or like I said, you could ask questions about clothes too. We just finished the month of doing that, and that was really exciting to me. I love how other people, like family members, are getting involved and helping you guys out, because like I'm that person that wouldn't want to do that. But I'm glad that, like, I don't know, by approaching it the right way, it seems like instead of them feeling pressured and frustrated about it, they end up seeing your progress and deciding to add to it. So that's pretty exciting. I'm so glad for you guys. And yeah, so let's see. Looks like there aren't any more questions. So thank you for attending and helping me out. And if you would like to give me any feedback, I would appreciate it. Although I feel like I learned a lot already. I have a lot of feedback for myself. So thank you for attending and hanging out with me. And I will have to figure out how to get you guys on the video for next time when we do that. But hopefully we can do another one next month, if not before then. And I hope you guys have an amazing day and weekend. Bye.